Let me ask you one question. Is your home building people up or slowly wearing them down? When people hear the word poor, they usually think about money. But the harder truth is this: some homes have plenty of food and still feel poor. Emotionally poor, spiritually poor, poor in connection and peace. You can afford the bills. Your fridge can be full, but the house still feels cold, short conversations, empty stares, silence that feels like punishment. And the scary part, it doesn't happen because of one big disaster. It happens through habits. One careless comment that hurts, one interruption without an apology, one dinner where everyone is glued to their phones, one complaint repeated so often it becomes the atmosphere of the house, one small argument that drags on for days. Habits are silent erosion. They don't destroy a home overnight. They chip away at it little by little, until one day you look around and ask, how did our home become like this? Marcus Aurelius once said the scariest thing isn't death, it's never truly living. And a lot of families aren't actually falling apart. They're just existing under the same roof, without peace, without vision, without real warmth. If you don't want your home to become poor in that way, this video is for you. 1. A home filled with daily fights will eventually have nothing left to hold on to. I want you to think about a couple you know. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe it's you and the person you live with. They didn't stop loving each other. No. The love is still there, hidden in old photos. In those unconscious moments when they still reach for each other's hand without thinking. But then life showed up: money, kids, work, pressure, and love got buried. What rises to the surface every day now is tension. The morning starts with one careless comment that hits exactly where it hurts. They drive to work in silence like they're attending a funeral. Dinner feels like a performance for the kids. See, we're fine. But children aren't stupid. They feel everything. And then around 9 p.m., when everyone is exhausted, the pressure cooker explodes. Same words. Same tone. Same script. Nobody wins. Only the home loses. Fighting doesn't just cost words, it costs sleep. Because your mind keeps replaying the battle long after you lie down. It costs health. Because constant stress keeps your body stuck in survival mode. It costs focus. Because people go to work physically present but mentally trapped at home. And worst of all, it costs opportunity. Because someone drained by war inside the house won't have the energy to dream, learn, grow, or change their life. Listen carefully. You are not fighting your loved one. You are fighting the problem. The moment you turn the person beside you into the enemy, you don't just lose the argument, you start burning down the very home you're trying to protect. If you're tired of living like this, comment, no more fights. 2. The moment respect disappears, a family becomes nothing more than strangers sharing a house. Let me say this. Clearly, families don't fall apart because of money. They fall apart because of disrespect. And it doesn't start with screaming or violence. It starts small. So small, you tell yourself, it's not a big deal. The first time you interrupt someone and never apologize. The first time you roll your eyes while they're saying something serious. The first time you make fun of them in front of other people. Everyone at the table laughs. They laugh too, because what else are they supposed to do? But when they get home, something inside them shrinks, just a little, but it adds up, day after day. A new language forms inside the house, talking down to each other, giving orders, sarcasm, cold silence, and slowly, everyone gets used to it. So used to it that nobody even notices how wrong it is anymore. The saddest part, the children are watching. Kids don't learn from lectures. They learn from the atmosphere. And when a child grows up in a home without respect, they usually carry one of two sentences into adulthood. One, I don't deserve to be treated well. So they become easy to disrespect, easy to silence, easy to walk over. This is just how people treat each other, and they grow up repeating the exact same pattern. Not because they're bad people, but because they never learned another way. Marcus Aurelius said it simply, don't waste time arguing about what a good person is, be one. Respect is not a slogan. It's action, listening without interrupting, speaking kindly, not humiliating each other, treating your family at least as well as you treat strangers. If you want your home to feel warmer again, comment, we respect each other. 3. A home full of complaints will raise a generation full of hopelessness. I want you to think about a certain kind of person. You probably know someone who sees a problem in everything. You give them good news. They find something to worry about. You offer them an opportunity. They look for the trap. You show them a beautiful sunrise. And they still say, yeah, it's nice, but it'll fade anyway. Sounds almost funny. Right. It's not. It's dangerous. Because when complaining becomes the main language in a home, children grow up breathing it like air. And don't underestimate complaining. It's not just words. It becomes the operating system of the family. It teaches kids one toxic belief. Nothing in life will ever really change. And once that belief takes root, it doesn't just create sadness, it creates a mindset that quits before even trying. Not applying for the job because someone like me would never get it. Not learning new skills because what's the point anyway? Not loving sincerely because it'll fall apart eventually. Not trying at all because I'll probably fail. Epictetus said something that should be hanging in every kitchen. A person who constantly complains suffers twice. They suffer once because of what happened. Then they suffer again by replaying it over and over until it becomes a prison. And while you're suffering twice, your children are watching. They learn to live through complaint. They carry that voice into their own minds and eventually into their own lives. I'm not telling you to pretend everything is okay. I'm telling you to understand it's hard, but we'll find a way that's facing reality. Whatever. Life is just like this. That's being trapped. If you want your children to grow up with hope, change the atmosphere in your home, starting today. 4. The comfort you choose today may be silently stealing your family's future. There's a habit that destroys families quietly while looking completely harmless, choosing comfort. It disguises itself as rest, as I'm too tired, as we'll talk tomorrow, as self-care. Sounds healthy, sounds modern, but the truth is, comfort is often just a beautiful way to avoid hard things. In a family, comfort isn't lying on the couch. Comfort is avoidance. Avoiding serious conversations. Avoiding deep honesty. Avoiding fixing bad habits. Avoiding discipline. Avoiding responsibility. And the dangerous part. You don't see the damage immediately, because it destroys things slowly, one small choice at a time. The clearest example, a couple knows their relationship needs attention. They know they need honest conversations, healing, connection, But real conversations are uncomfortable. They hit the ego. They force people to admit mistakes. So instead, both choose comfort sitting in the same room, staring at different screens, calling it spending time together. But they're not together. They're slowly drifting apart. Or parents know they need to talk to their children about friends, habits, direction, values, but they fear conflict. They fear exhaustion. They fear complications. So they say, maybe later, and later never comes. Only distance does. Marcus Aurelius said something hard but true. Endure and renounce. The obstacle is the way. If you want to change your life, change your home. Change your future. You must learn to choose useful discomfort over useless comfort. Because in the end, you only have two choices: pay the price of discomfort today to build a better future, or sacrifice the future to buy temporary comfort today. If you choose growth for your family, comment, I choose growth. 5. Money doesn't stay with rich people. Money stays where it is respected. This might sting a little. Most financial problems in families don't come from a lack of money. They come from a lack of respect for money. Money is not loyal to your income. It is loyal to your habits. You can make 10 or 100 if your habits stay the same. The money disappears the same way. Some people earn a lot but live in constant stress because they spend before they earn, buy things to soothe emotions, or go into debt just to protect their image. Meanwhile, someone with an average income slowly builds stability because they understand one thing: every dollar should have a purpose before it leaves your hand. The difference is not the salary. It's the operating system inside the home. Epictetus said it simply: a wise person does not complain about what they lack, but appreciates what they already have. Sounds philosophical, but applied to money, it becomes powerful. Because a house that constantly says, we never have enough, life is unfair, no matter how much we make, it's gone, is programming itself to spend carelessly and give up mentally. The language you use around money becomes the command you send to your future. So what does respecting money actually mean? It's not being cheap. It's being intentional. Knowing where your money goes instead of guessing, facing the numbers honestly instead of avoiding them, having shared plans instead of secret spending and hidden debt, talking about money like adults instead of turning it into war. And remember, your children don't learn about money from lectures. They learn from how you spend, how you talk, and how you react when money gets tight. If you want money to start staying in your home, comment, I respect money. 6. A family without a shared dream is just a group of people waiting for life to push them around. Let me ask you a painful question. When was the last time your family sat down and talked seriously about the future, not who's picking up the kids tomorrow, what bills are due this month, the car needs maintenance? I mean the bigger future. What kind of family do you want to become? How do you want to live 5 years from now? What kind of environment do you want your children to grow up in? For most people, the answer is never. Not because they don't care, but because they're busy, tired, always saying, we'll talk about it later. And so the family slips into survival mode, solve problems when they appear, breathe when things calm down, then repeat the cycle again. That's not living. That's drifting. Epictetus said it clearly. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. In other words, you need a destination before you can build a path. Without a destination, Even hard work becomes running in circles. A family with a shared dream feels completely different. Sacrifice has meaning, discipline has purpose. Even exhaustion feels different because you know what you're building together, but without a dream. Everything starts to feel like punishment. Work becomes just paying bills. Saving money feels like endless deprivation. Effort becomes surviving one more day. And slowly, people stop trying. Not because they're lazy, but because anyone gets discouraged when they're working hard with no direction. The worst part, children grow up believing the future is something that just happens to them, instead of something they can create. They become passengers in their own lives. So let me ask again, where is your family going? If you want your family to have a real direction, comment, "We have a dream." 7. Whatever you allow to live inside your home will eventually live inside your children. This is the most important part. So hear this carefully. The atmosphere inside your home becomes the inner world of your children. Not someday. Right now. You can teach your kids all the right lessons, but if they grow up surrounded by tension, disrespect, complaining, or emotional coldness every single day, then those lessons become nothing more than words on paper. Children don't learn mainly through their ears. They learn through their lungs. They breathe in the emotional climate of the home. They watch how their parents talk when they're tired, how conflict is handled, how money is discussed, how failure is treated. They hear the same phrases repeated over and over. We never have enough. Life is pointless. Be quiet. What do you know, Mom? Dad is busy. And even if those words are not directly aimed at them, children still turn them into the voice inside their own heads. Marcus Aurelius said something terrifyingly true. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. In simple terms, the home is the dye, and the child is the fabric. Whatever color fills your house, peace or tension, respect or contempt, hope or hopelessness, your children will carry that color for the rest of their lives. So let me ask you directly, what color is your home right now? Is it the color of people walking on eggshells, afraid that one wrong word will start another explosion? Or is it the color of laughter, safety, being heard, making mistakes and still being loved? Stop telling yourself kids don't understand. They do. They just don't always say it. And one day, when they grow up, they will live out the very atmosphere they spent their childhood breathing in. If you want to protect the emotional climate inside your home starting today, come on. My home is sacred. In the end, the 7 things destroying a family are not bad luck. They are 7 habits repeated every single day: fighting, disrespect, constant complaining, choosing comfort over growth, disrespecting money, living without a shared dream, and allowing a toxic environment to survive inside the home. Sound familiar? Of course it does. Because these patterns don't appear out of nowhere, they get passed down from one generation to the next. But listen carefully. The moment you recognize the pattern is not a sign of failure. It's a sign that you're waking up. And sometimes, one person waking up is enough to change the direction of an entire family line. You don't need one massive breakthrough. You need something much harder. New habits, speaking more gently, being honest without being cruel, facing money directly, daring to dream, choosing discipline, protecting peace inside the home like it matters more than pride. Marcus Aurelius said, "You may not control everything happening around you, but you do control your mind and your choices." And that is where change begins. If you're ready to break this cycle and build a different future for your family, comment, "My story starts now."